What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, and welcome to Lactic Acid, the podcast where the takes are fresh, the ideas are ripe, and that makes us the best in the bunch. I am your host, Dominique Smith, and today I have one of the best runners in college athletics. Doesn't matter the division, she's still balling out, breaking records, and she's probably faster than you on a daily pace. She is none other than Miss Kassie Parker. Kassie, thank you for taking time out of your busy life to chat with me. What's going on?
Not much, just got done with the run. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I appreciate you coming on. It's so funny having runners on the show because I am not a runner. I threw, and running was a form of punishment. So it's always refreshing to hear people who like to do it for fun, for a living and stuff like that. So you have a pretty unique story, and I'm really, really excited to get to chat with you. But I have to ask you this question. I ask everybody on the show, and that is this. If you had to pick a superhero or TV personality to describe you as a collegiate runner, who are you rolling with?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I've never been asked anything like that.
It could be Marvel, it could be something off Netflix, it could be a cartoon.
I really like the Marvel movies.
Okay.
Okay. Black Widow.
Black Widow. Okay. Why Black Widow?
I don't know. I watched that movie when I was on an airplane going to Oregon and cross country, and I don't know, I can relate to like her story a little bit, and I really like her as a Marvel character. So I enjoy the Marvel movies.
I feel that. I saw Endgame. That was 3 hours, but it was too emotional for me to see anything else. So I'm lacking. But it's interesting like hearing people come on. Black Widow has been the top choice as of the past couple episodes, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, before it was Wonder Woman, but now we're switching to Black Widow.
Okay.
And so you're in really good company where that's concerned. So that's pretty cool. So yes, Kassie is from Loras College. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm still trying to figure out what the mascot is. It's the dewhawk. So I guess that's a type of bird. That is a specific bird.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a Dubuque hawk.
Okay.
I really hope I'm not wrong on that.
So we're just going to say Loras because I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to have smoke with any university, but she that's where she attends in the great state of Iowa. And she is balling, y'all. Won a cross country championships. How many school records have you broken so far?
3 for cross country, 4K, 5K, 6K, then indoor mile, 3K, 5K. I guess I now have the DIII too, after this past nationals. And then 3K, 5K, 10K outdoor.
Oh my gosh. So 11? So I think it's 11.
10 or 11, yeah.
So pretty much, y'all, if anybody has to pause to recap how many records they've broken, then you know they're a big deal. That's what we do on the show. So like I said, we are sending a presence of greatness. But like I said, you had an interesting story. You are from a small town in Iowa, Gunberg, that ranges from 900 to whatever Wikipedia says, but it is a small town. And you actually ran in high school, but you weren't like a super competitive runner. So how do you go from like low-key high school track athlete to 11 freaking records? Like 10, I counted 11. Now, listen, I was a journalism major, not a math major, so Lord forgive me, but I counted 11. So we talking double digits. That's hands and toes. So how do we go to that?
Gosh, I guess I kind of think about this a lot sometimes. It just kind of started out, I was into volleyball, middle school, my freshman year, hated running, absolutely did not like running. Um, Basically, my punishment was like running. And one time I participated in like a cross country event, like a glow run for homecoming, and I did pretty good. And the cross country coach was like, you should think about, doing cross country. And like I did track and did the mid distance events, but never wanted to do anything long. Um, and then I ended up quitting volleyball and joining cross country. And I guess that season, while I was a sophomore, I started from being like the last person on the team to, to finish a workout or a run, to being like the second or third, being up there on the varsity. And I kept thinking, yeah, I could stick with this. Like, I'm pretty confident since I'm up there. And then just kind of kept growing and growing a little bit. But being from a small school is a little hard because, like, I don't know, we never ran a lot of miles, or you never really knew like how many miles to run or anything. So I feel like eventually that kind of maybe held me back a little bit, from maybe doing something even better in high school. But I did end my high school track career going third in the 3K at state, and seventh or eighth in the 1500 at state, with
Wow.
big PRs. And I feel like that was kind of when I started doing a lot more things. I was like, oh, the key to running is to run more.
That is
But yeah, my
amazing.
enjoyment from, I don't know, just like getting those PRs and like those records, just like it made me feel good about myself, and I wanted to keep sticking with something that I was good at. So
That is amazing. Like, I played sports, and so just like you, I went to a small school. When somebody said you had to run, that means you did something wrong. Like, no one ever, like, they were like, okay, well, let's run an extra, just true story, like, let's run
right.
an extra lap and warm-ups. And so I was like, okay, but everybody didn't go to practice late and stuff like that. It's like, oh, extra conditioning. But that is amazing. Like, to not know how many miles you're running to actually realizing like, oh, I'm pretty freaking good. And
Mhm.
even more amazing is to play volleyball, which is an after school sport, to go to cross country where you have to get up when the rooster is in his third cycle of sleep to get to the race. I don't know if it's different in Iowa, but
A
I
little
like,
different in Iowa.
oh, wow. Okay. So listen,
Yeah,
I'm from Florida, live in Florida. So, we do things not according to the
right.
rules. Um, so okay, that's, yeah, we used to have to get up, and I used to like hang out with the cross country team for volunteer hours to
Mhm.
just, I don't even know what I was doing, but yeah, they would have to get up super early. So okay, well, we
Yeah,
had to get up early. You guys have to run in the cold. So I guess that's a fair trade-off and stuff
that's
like that.
fair.
But you went to the University of Iowa, sticking with the bird theme for the mascot. So you were a Iowa Hawkeye, ran at a track club,
Mhm.
and then was just like, I'm not feeling it. Which, if you go from a small city to a big university, that is like mind
Yeah,
boggling. And then here we are.
here we are.
Um, so one thing that I admire about your story is just your fearless nature. Like, it takes courage, it takes bravery, and you put it all out on the line to follow something that you believe in, and you are putting the freaking team on your back. Did you ever think that you would get to this point?
Honestly, no. Um, it's always a mindset to get, as close as possible. But now that I'm exceeding those goals I made years ago, it's kind of crazy to think, where I was a couple years ago to where I am now. And now thinking about, all these like top 10 records and stuff, it's just really crazy. Like once I set, a goal, I'm like dedicated and passionate about it. Like I want to get that goal, like try as hard as I can.
What were your original goals, going from Iowa, to Loras?
Yeah. Um, so starting with like my after I decided I wanted to go to Iowa, I originally wanted to put running behind me, but then after I did so well at state track in high school, I wanted to continue with running. It was always on the back of my mind. In the summer, I kept going out for runs. I'm like, I didn't know why. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
And struggling a bit at, coming from a small town to a big town, wanting to be a little bit closer to home, those kinds of things. And honestly, I was looking at, like past like nationals for D3 and like the records, and I was like, well, these aren't like impossible. Like if they can do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just starting out, and I keep seeing all these gains and gains, and I don't know, I just felt confident and had like a gut feeling with it. And then looking at Loras also my senior year, I knew it was kind of like a good place close to home that I wanted to be at. So
Well, how's the process been for you? It just seems I don't think anyone who hates college or hates where they are would be achieving the success that you have. It seems that you found the perfect fit. It seems like, I don't know if it's fair to say you chose the running life or the running life chose you. I've been like thinking about that, but still, it's like a match made in heaven.
I was gonna say maybe it met like halfway.
Yeah, okay, I can dig that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, how's the experience been for you?
it's been great. Honestly, just seeing my progress every single year, like even opens up the door and more memories. Just bonding with the team and like our love for each other and bonding at practices, that helps. I have my assistant coach. He actually runs with me and paces me sometimes.
Okay.
Or I run with the boys every once in a while. But I'm really close with my team, and they're like my family and all my additional friends and my roommates and everything.
Have you beat any of the boys?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
We had a workout on Monday. We did repeat 400s and um, kind of like caught up to them, where I was able to ask my coaches if I could slide in with them. And they're like, well, this is like the faster pack, but I guess so. And I was kind of making the boys a little anxious
I
by
like
sticking
that.
with them.
See, I like that. I like that.
But like
It's
it
like
helped,
it
otherwise it's just me versus, I got people in front of me and I can just kind of go with.
is competitive excellence, but it's also girl power because I guarantee you they were like, nah, we're about to lap her. And then you just slid onto the track and you went Usain Bolt on them. Usain Bolt didn't have the best start, but listen, from 50 meters on, he was walking people down. Listen, I like that. I like that. I need to see if some of them will come on the show and talk about how it was to catch an L. But the one thing that I noticed about you, and then we'll transition from track for a minute, is that, I kind of mentioned it earlier. When you run like somebody owes you some money. Like it's just this fearless, just energetic confidence. I was listening to a story or some speech earlier this afternoon. It was of Jimmy Johnson. He was saying, we used to have swagger, but swagger isn't like cockiness, it's confidence that you're going to whoop somebody's behind. And that's kind of a confidence that it seems like you carry with yourself as you race, and it's resulting in some incredible performances. What would you describe it as, and where do you get it from?
Mhm. I would say I never started out with all the confidence. It just kind of happened. I'd say like my sophomore year, it took a year or so after a couple of failures, of course, and then I was just in the mindset that why can't I like push the pace a little bit? And I
Mhm.
feel like it's definitely shown this year my confidence, like taking like a race out from the gun and just being able to prove myself, and everyone else, like the times that I can run, even being, in Division 3. Um, But I don't know, I think I just, even like, especially like winning races and like beating the times I want to beat and the times I want to get,
Mhm.
that helps a lot. And then I get the confidence, like I just ran that. So if I even PR a little bit, that's going to be really even better. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know. The confidence just kind of rolls with my mindset a little bit. But I do get nervous before races. Like it doesn't matter the race. It could be conference or anything. Like I know I'm gonna win it, but like I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm nervous and I don't know why.
I feel
But
like
then
it's oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't
and
mean to cut
then
you off.
sorry. And then like, when the gun goes off, it's gone. I'm just
Oh yeah. I feel like it's because you care. Like
yeah.
maybe that's I've been telling more of my embarrassing stories on the show, and so I'm going to tell another one. But I was working at like a track camp when I was in high school, so I'm just this big old shot put in discus thrower. And so the counselors had a 4x1 against the kids, and I was nervous. Like, I was like, what if one of these little kids like comes and beats me and stuff like that, which low key almost happened. This kid, I think he's in college somewhere. So, I mean, that made me feel a little better, but still, I think, I don't know. It's just like when you care so much, it's natural to get nervous.
Mhm.
And then it's like a light bulb goes off, like you said, as soon as you hit the starting line.
Right.
So let's give a little break to this track talk. But the goal of this show is to know the superstars outside of the sport. And so you are no exception to the rule. And that's what the people want to know. Who is the GOAT Kassie Parker outside of the track course, outside of the track, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Who are you outside of running? That's what we needs to know.
Well, let's see. I really like to sleep in. I'm gonna kind of go by like my daily schedule. Um, Usually I will go to work like 8 to 2 or whatever. If I get out early, I'll go nap,
Mm,
eat a snack, go work out. Really, it's nice. I only have 2 classes, so I don't really have, to attend classes. I just do it online and everything on my own. Um, I'll play with my dog, and she's about a year old. Sometimes we go on runs together. So she's super fun. I actually play Xbox.
oh,
So,
okay.
so either if I'm watching TV shows or playing Fortnite or whatever, um, or playing with Natty, I guess, or just hanging out with my roommates or my friends. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So I did see your dog on another podcast. uh sweet dog. But there's so many things I have questions on, but I have to ask the most pressing. So you're about that Xbox life. Okay. So Fortnite.
I'm a beginner.
Okay, I was gonna ask, like, you see, can you tell me what it is? Like, I don't, I tried, Kassie, I tried,
Mhm.
but I can't do it. Like, I just can't.
I
What
feel
is it?
like, um, I mean, you go around and you like grab the weapons or whatever, and I just feel like when I started out, my goal was to like get as high as possible, like second or third or fourth. And then I was really bad at first. I'm still, but like as you want to, it's kind of like running. You want to like place as high as possible, and you want to
Okay.
get good at it. So not now that I'm good at it, I mean I don't play it as much, but um,
No, I
yeah,
understand that because when you suck at something, you'll play it for hours. Maybe that's
right,
just me. But when you get good at it, you don't because it's there's not like enough of a challenge.
right, yeah.
Um,
And then once you get it, you're like, okay, I got it. Like then we're good for a while.
I don't know. I mean, I'll try it, but it sounds boring. Like it sounds like a bootleg. It sounds like a watered down Call of Duty because all I see are like people jumping out of parachutes
Oh yeah,
and like I'm like, what are y'all doing? It's like, what
yeah.
is it?
It's not bad, and you can also play like a two or three, 4-person team or whatever.
Okay.
Um, so that's
Okay.
kind of fun too.
What other games do you play?
Um, Call of Duty, I guess that's all I really play. I don't like Minecraft.
I
Never
hate
really enjoyed it.
I have to
There's
be
no
careful.
purpose.
I have to be careful because I know some people who love Minecraft. I'm I can't. I'm sorry. I didn't try, but I just looked at the name. I saw a commercial and I was like, nah, fam, I can't do this. Call of Duty, though, I sucked at that too because I was getting killed like as soon as I would turn. Like, because there's some like heavy duty Call of Duty players out there. Like, are you one of
Yeah.
those who like really gets after it and like the scheme and everything of trying to attack? It's actually kind of fun. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Oh man,
Yeah.
what's the highest score that you've got?
I have no idea, honestly. I just play for fun.
It seems like you're an ace at these video games. I'm very it because it's like a nice way to relax.
Yeah. Honestly, I
Uh
give credit to my boyfriend and his roommates
okay.
because honestly, I would go over there and then that's what they're all playing. And then I'd be like, I want to learn this. So I can just jump in, and join them.
Okay. Well, listen, ain't nothing wrong with that. I love it. I love it. I feel like well, I was gonna say more athletes should play video games, but then I forgot that there's actually in college, it's a sport. A sport.
Oh,
Um, you know, on ESPN and stuff like that, where they have video
hmm
game tournament. Now, granted, they could use that time to put running on ESPN, but that's neither here nor there.
right. Okay, I guess I
Uh,
also play NBA.
okay. Now,
That's
who's the team? There's not an Iowa team, but who's the team?
no. Um, the Rockets are pretty good. What am I thinking of?
What year?
Well, I
Not
don't know. I
this
have to
year.
go back to like 2014 around there.
Oh, okay, okay,
Honestly,
okay. I just had to make sure because
yeah,
I'm
no,
like, if you're playing with the Rockets in 2022 and you balling, then you need to
is
stop
that it?
running. Yeah, I was gonna say it's time for you to stop running and go because that is some next level skill. Shout
Right.
out to the Rockets, but y'all not good on 2K. That's an easy dub for me. That makes my heart sing. So, how is it to manage a job in addition to? It's nice that you take two classes.
hmm
But what is? I read it. Is it I'm not okay. I'm gonna have you tell me your major because I already caught enough L so far in the show, and I don't want to mispronounce this. I know it starts with a K.
It's kinesiology, but
There
I
we go.
also graduated with a psychology major as well.
Oh my
So,
gosh. So your goal is to pretty much to save the world.
oh, I wish.
But no, how have you, because that takes impressive time management.
Um,
You said you work from 8 to 2. That gives me that I feel that because at 8 o'clock in the morning I'm asleep.
yeah.
Um and everything, but how are you able to manage all of that and still get your runs in and still do everything that a college athlete has to do?
Honestly, I think it's finding a job that you like doing, which I've grown to love working in the pharmacy. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'll work 8 to 2, and then occasionally a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday or Sunday, like probably like 30 hours max.
Okay.
So I won't work like, a full week. Um, but then like those Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we have workouts. So I'm usually, at practice by 3:30 or so.
Hmm.
So I feel like that's pretty nice. Along with I don't spend a lot of time on my homework. So I
Right.
really just focus on time management with work and then, going to practice. I feel like it's pretty easy for me. I don't know.
Hmm.
I guess I've always had like a part-time job. But now since I'm older, just the hours kind of grow a little bit more. But yeah, I love working in the pharmacy, helping, fill prescriptions and all the computer stuff that comes along with it. Um, it makes time fly for me, and I don't know, I just really like it, and I think it fits well.
Is something rewarding, especially with the pandemic, especially
Mhm.
um like with older people who have to get their
Yeah.
medicine and they're like confused because just
Hmm.
everything is just changing.
Right.
To
And I
see
guess
people,
I do
but
give vaccine shots now,
oh,
so that's been an interesting mix to
so you're really, really saving the world. Okay.
it.
So Black Widow kind of, well, I didn't say it made sense, but okay, wow. So what made you want to get into that field?
Um, Honestly, I had a roommate last year and I was just working at, like a sporting store, and I
Mhm.
really didn't like it. And my roommate goes, "Oh, I'm like applying for a job. Told me to apply for like a pharmacy job." And I was like, "Well, you're too young, 2 years younger than me. Like, I'll apply too." And so we ended up getting the job together, working together, and we've both been there. And now we're both certified and we're both certified to give
Wow.
shots, and
Wow.
just
That's
kind of
actually really
magically
cool.
happened. Yeah. I
That's
couldn't
really
imagine myself working like anywhere else, honestly. Like I enjoy it. I want to stay in that career path. Not like I want to be a pharmacist or anything, because that'd be a lot of school. And
oh gosh.
I'm not sure I want to go into that step of grad school and beyond. But
But it's really cool just, in this conversation, like you found what you're meant to do.
mhm,
Running and serving others, specifically. Um, and then the two things that you were doing had no correlation to the two things that you're actually
right.
great at. Um, and so one more question, obviously, before we transition back into the running field. What was it like growing up in a very, very, very small town? I'm always interested in country living.
Hmm.
I know the food slapped. No, I know that. That's just my Southern family in
Oh,
our small country town. But
yeah, and small town, but lots of family there. We have, cousins, uncles that live, on a farm. Um, so they would have like land. We'd go out, we'd four-wheel bonfires, go hiking in the woods, mushroom hunting, just some Midwest stuff.
okay,
Um, like sweet corn, and just have, I don't know, it was fun. Um, you kind of like know everyone knows everyone, you're friends with everyone. Um, but it was pretty enjoyable. Sometimes kind of wish it was like a little bit of a bigger school, like more variety of people or like more
yeah,
people on your team.
right.
Uh, but I would say overall, I had a really good experience being in a small town. Not that I'd want to, move to a small town. I really think like Dubuque is a good size for me. So,
I got you. Here's one thing I learned about being in the country. Learned it very, very, very at a young age. When the sun goes down, you need to be in the house. That's a different kind of dark that I was not like expecting. And then you hear these noises, like especially, if you're on a farm or if you're near the woods, and it's like, oh, okay, it's just a bear or it's just, animals. But that does sound like very, very cool just to kind of have everything at your
mhm.
disposal. Four-wheeling sounds legit though. I've never been four-wheeling. I've seen videos,
So,
and there's a part of me that is envious of that experience. I'm not gonna lie. Four-wheeling in Orlando is just driving on the highway. But
yeah, and it's not that you have to go fast, we have like trails in the woods where you can just observe, and it's fun.
what's the go-to Midwestern country meal or just the go-to Midwestern meal
Hmm.
for you? For you, not no one else
For
but
me,
you.
okay. Well, definitely like I really like shrimp. Sweet corn's pretty good. Um, I don't know. I'm a big seafood person, honestly.
Hey,
So,
I love it too. I shrimp. Um, I just had what kind of fish did I? I had conch or whatever it's called. Seafood is picky for me because sometimes it could be too fishy,
mhm.
but if it slaps just right, it's the best thing you've ever had. And of course, my life motto is if you can't fry it, don't buy it. So I have to like, it has to be fried. It gives it an extra
Really?
level. Well, except like salmon.
Okay.
Like I just learned you can fry salmon, but that's nothing I'm trying to do. Um, and my cardiologist will is not a fan of that, but that's okay, you know. But that's interesting. I never heard seafood in the Midwest. Uh, but hey, I like it. I like it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
I don't know. That's just me. Like, I love seafood, like, absolutely hands down.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. We need more good. I'm not mad at it. We need more good seafoods here in Florida. Just a thought. So back to running and just the college life in general. I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that, you know, people look at college athletics and the college athletes, regardless of the division, if you're Division III, if you're NAIA, or if you are a perennial Division I powerhouse, and they just, I feel like if they understood what you guys really go through, then some of the false narratives that people say, like, oh, it's a free education or whatever the case might be, which is not the case in some respects, but it's not anything that is just meant for anyone. What is kind of a myth about college athletics that you wish would be debunked, that people have ignorantly spewed?
I would say that it's easy, because it's not. I feel like everyone in their major is, trying to do the best they can, whether that means, being up till midnight to finish the homework for the next day. I know I've had a couple nights like that, and I feel like it's just, it's not easy, but like it's not difficult either, but it is time consuming. And like you still want to earn those good grades while still being an athlete. So especially with having practices, I mean, that's because you have to go to practice and then you have to, complete your homework, and so then, yeah.
And then you have to take care of your body as well. It's not like, you know, in high
Mhm.
school, you know, I would, you know, practice, you know, have a difficult practice, weightlifting and track practice, and then go to 7-Eleven and get an Arnold Palmer, which is sweet tea and lemonade, and just like call it a day. But in college, you can't do that. You have to really, really be mindful of the foods that
Mhm.
you eat, you know, icing, recovering, stretching. I don't even think people consider that when they, you know, think about college athletics, to your point.
Right. And I feel like I really like to sleep. I feel like I need sleep for my recovery. So I find that as a huge aspect, to get like at least 9 hours and or even more, sometimes more.
9 hours?
9 or more.
What in the world? Oh my gosh. I wish I could sleep that
Oh,
long.
I just can't function on a lack of sleep. Like some people can do it and props to them. I'm not one of those people. Like I have to have my sleep.
Oh, I wish the Lord blessed me with that. Because there's been so many, like I functioned like when I was in college. I mean, I'm 27, but still, you know, you know, writing journalism stories, and you know, you have games that end like at midnight, and then you have to write it, and then you have to
Hmm.
get up because I had a job too, so I have to get up at 6, and you know, you sleep for 4 hours, and I don't drink
Right.
coffee, but uh, I wish I had that. See, that is a skill set. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You can sleep that long, that's a skill set, and take a nap on top of that.
And
That is not just, that's a blessing. That is a blessing from the Most High, and I would say I'm not mad at it, but I am. Just because I wish I could sleep that long. But for the miles and the work that you put in, you need that. Like I
hmm.
understand that you need that. I completely understand, you know, what you're probably logging. I'm just guessing what, 60 miles a week, maybe, or whatever the case might be.
50.
Okay, same thing. It's a lot. Um, but yeah, in order for your body to fully recover, you know, you need that adequate rest. when it
Mhm.
comes to Division III athletics, for whatever reason, it's overlooked because it's not Kentucky, it's not Florida, it's not Ohio State, Oregon, North Carolina. You may not have the facilities and stuff like that, but there's some incredible talent on the Division III level, and the competition is elite. And for me as an outsider, and I'm interested to hear your perspective, people who compete, if you compete in college, I don't care if it's Loras or Iowa or, like I said, Florida, Ohio State, North Carolina, or whatever, you are good. Like, you do something better than the average high school athlete, and in some case a good high school athlete can do. Not anybody can just roll up in the Loras and be like, yeah, I'll be on the track team and I'm going to make a difference. No, like, it takes a unique skill set, and it takes hard work, dedication,
Mhm.
and perseverance, just like any other Division I or Division II school. Why is there such negativity, or people tend to look down on Division III athletics, in your opinion?
I guess I really don't know why it's debunked. I feel like usually, the top couple athletes, that place at nationals, they're definitely like elite. Like they can go to D1, and I think a lot of D3 athletes end up transferring to D1 schools. I know there's a couple from this year, they're going to grad school to D1, to go running. And I think that's kind of like another issue is like we compare, ourselves as a D3 school to like, oh, I could be running at D1. And I think that kind of, there's a gray area right there. Um, but honestly, lately, Division III has been growing, and I think it's been getting a little bit more recognized, and being a part of that, really cool. And like even running with or showing up to Division I races, and being in the race with Division I All-Americans, it's so neat, and exciting that, yeah, I'm D3, but I can do it too.
Now, I know you said that there's a gray area and there's a comparison, but you can't tell me you roll up into somebody's Division I home and you whoop them on their course wearing Loras when they have, everything. You can't tell me there's not a good feeling. At least that's me. Maybe that's just me. I know
Um,
you're a humble person, but I'm just,
yeah, I feel like most runners, or at least, the runners at Loras here, we're pretty humble. Um, and honestly, just blessed to be doing the things we're doing and the times you've been running, as a team, not just individually. Yeah, just proving, I guess, that we can compete at these D1 meets as well, and be in the race with them, no matter the division.
how has your faith and, just your support system helped you along this journey?
A lot. Um, because transferring was a little hard, wasn't really close to anyone, but then as the new year rolled around, when I was a sophomore, had like the new freshmen come in, and I was really close with them, um, and just kind of like the relationship with like my coaches and me getting better, and like me, strategizing with them, getting closer to them, and going to nationals with my team and my coaches, um, and just having that confidence as well, in my friends, like they're very supportive of what I do, when I need to go out for a workout, and like how time consuming, running is in and like out of my personal life. Like it's time consuming in my personal life as well. Um, but they're supportive of that, and that helps me as
How do
well.
you how do you find balance? Obviously, we talked about the video games and obviously having a job, but how do you, as time consuming as what you do, really is, and the success that you've had with, obviously it comes, enhanced expectations, probably for yourself, and then maybe what others expect, which, I mean, in essence doesn't matter. But how do you find the balance and keep what you love to do from becoming a job? If that makes sense.
hmm I guess I don't know, when I get home from practice, I'll maybe talk about it for like 5 minutes or so, and then I'm focusing on what everyone else did today. Like we don't need to focus on running or whatever. We talk about all the success I had over the weekend or something, but then it's like, oh, like, what did you do? You know, and then like really connecting with them and just trying to make sure like it's not about me. Like,
Right.
you guys are my friends. I want to know your lives. I want to know like the success you're having, whether that's in your sport or in your academics. You know.
That makes sense. And that's really, I mean, that's a sign of a great friend. So a couple more questions. So we're going to get to our last segment, and then you can get started on that 11-hour sleep pattern. What is the biggest thing that you would say you've learned in this whole process? I mean, this whole process. It could be about yourself. It could be about the process. It could just be anything. But if there's a lesson that you can take away or something that you look back on and just say, wow, what would it be?
I would say that it's definitely the failures. And once you fail, like it's either you quit or you keep going. And if you keep going, you're going to like reach success. So it's like that keep going part, like, and not quitting. I've had a couple of failures, like my first indoor track experience, you know, when I finished, I think it was like dead last or second to last. My legs were just not having it that week. But that was probably like my biggest failure. And then at that point, my mind was just crushed. So then it's like, you have to regain all that confidence back, which eventually it ended up for the better. It's really like that thin line, like you might be like this close to success, you know, but you have to get up after a failure and go do it. So I think that sometimes it's a big deal.
Wow, girl, that was deep. that gave me chills. It's like, man, it's like those inspirational quotes, things on Instagram. We got to put that on a t-shirt and sell that.
I love actually listening to like motivational videos and stuff. Like it gets me hyped. Like usually like before like a run or something or before a meet, I'll just listen to like a 5-minute video and
I know, but I feel that like I'm like, this is embarrassing, but I'm trying to write an article the other day, and then it's like Inky Johnson. He's big on Twitter. He's a motivational speaker, and he was like, "You got to fight every morning," and he's just, I'm like, man, let's go. And I'm not even like an athlete anymore. I'm just writing a freaking article. But no, I definitely understand that. But that was deep, and I think that's great advice for everybody, especially young people. You kind of answered the question, and I mean, I'll ask it. You know, I was going to ask, you know, for people who look to follow in your footsteps. You know, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give them? You know, even though I mean that was. Listen, that quote was an NIL deal. You can't tell me otherwise.
I mean, along with that, I mean, just listening to your body, like your injuries, like you don't want to overdo it. You want to like be able to rest and recover. Like, I've had injuries where I've had to, you know, back down from running and stuff like that. But like, I really like pay attention to my body. Like, what's sore? Do I need to ice something? Do I need to go to the athletic training room? Or like, what do I need to like focus on in the gym? And like, running, it's also not just running. It's also, you know, going to the gym and, you know, doing your lifts and your exercises or going to the AT room. So stuff like that.
2 more questions and then we'll finish this off. What do you want now that you're senior, things are wrapping up? Like I said, right now, I'm gonna go back and listen to this, and I have something pulled up. I think it's 11, so pretty much, you need 2 hands and a foot to count the school record so far. What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to remember you as when it comes to being a runner and a leader in your story, through your story?
That's a good question. I would say just being able to, run with grace and confidence while also being, a humble and kind person, being kind to my competitors, getting to know them, not just having it be all about me, and also focusing on your teammates and such. Yeah, like I love my teammates. I have a good bond with them. And like it's not just about me on my team, it's about also what everyone else can do and what we can do combined.
Why does kindness matter to you?
I don't know, I just feel like if you're kind to people, they'll be kind to you, kind of like, the golden rule. Like treat others how you want to be treated. Like
Yeah.
I treat others like how I wish to be treated,
I get that. I get that. That's a good rule to live by. Last question. How are we rocking this year? It's the last year. We're on the
it's not last year.
okay. Never mind. So we okay, we still got some more time, but the question still
Yep.
remains: how are we rocking this year? What can we expect from you on the track? What you got for us?
Well, we're gonna keep the momentum running from indoor. Let's see, I'm headed out to California in less than 7 days.
Oh.
So I'm gonna be running my first race of outdoor was the 10K. So I think it's on a Friday. But I'll be running at the Stanford Invitational.
Yes,
meet.
that is a Friday.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
I'm excited.
we're gonna be supporting. We're gonna be rocking. I'm so pumped. Look forward to hopefully another national championship. I would bet any piece of chicken that you break that school record in the 10K.
Oh, I already have it.
Okay. Wow.
Again.
Again, the L's that I am catching on this interview. Honest to God's truth. Forgive me for not putting some respect on your name. You are going to re-break your record at Stanford. Is that better? And I have to say that because you have the record book. It is the Kassie Parker record book for the Loras College, which is fine. Like I said on the show, we have the GOAT on the show. Like if you have to start using toenails to count school records, then you're the GOAT and you're balling. And so now we have entered in the last segment of this show. It's called Down the Home Stretch. I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions. And if you can answer them to the best of your ability as fast as you can, that would be great. If you don't, it's okay because 6 or 7 people have completed this challenge, with the winner being Kara Winger. She took it as a challenge, like it was the Olympic finals, and she came out swinging and she won. So we want to see if you can beat that record. If not, like I said, it really is no big deal. Are you ready?
Right. So
If you had to pick a food to live with and to live without for the rest of your life, what would it be?
to live with and without, I'll live with pasta without the black licorice.
My girl, that's nasty. I don't even know why that came into the world. Okay. If you had to pick an actress to portray your life in a movie made about your journey, who would you go with?
Oh, what's her name? She's on the Hunger Games. Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. That is a very popular answer on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, if you want to sponsor this show, just go ahead and email Lactic Acid Podcast. We gave you some free notoriety in these episodes. Okay. What's on the go-to playlist before a race?
Cinderella Man by Eminem.
Oh my gosh, that song used to get me so hyped, especially when the beat dropped.
So good.
Okay. Oh man. Okay, sorry, I got too caught up in that. Okay, if you had to pick someone to narrate a race that you're running, so And I mean narrate, like Cassie runs through the woods on the last K of this race. Like, who are you rolling with? It could be anybody.
I would say Stu from D3 Glory Days. D3 Glory Days are a podcast, and they announce nationals, but he's everything with distance running. He could do every step by step.
Yep, D3 Glory Days, big time podcast in the Citius network, Citius podcast network. Definitely be sure to check them out. Okay, what is the dream vacation spot?
Well, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, somewhere with a beach. I've been to Florida. Somewhere with a beach.
Okay, what part of Florida? I have to ask.
I've been to Panama City, Orlando, Fort Myers, around there, Clearwater.
How did you like Orlando?
It was okay. I went in high school, to Disney World, I believe it is, and SeaWorld and Universal.
Okay, I live in Orlando, so I just had to ask. Okay, so L for Orlando. It's all good. I understand. All right, so a couple more questions. Favorite book that you've ever read?
I'll just go with The Hunger Games.
Okay. Last TV show that you've binge watched?
Binged watched Outer Banks.
Go to seafood plate.
Bubba Gump shrimp.
Okay, and you need, so it's just shrimp, and then you need two sides.
Two sides. I'd probably do like lobster mac and cheese and like French fries.
I ain't even gonna. No, I'm not gonna get mad at that because I had something similar a few weeks ago, so I can't get mad at that. Listen, you need those starch, you need those carbs. We're athletes here. It's for our benefit. Okay. Last couple of questions. Here we go. Is a boneless chicken wing should it be considered a chicken nugget or a chicken wing? So a boneless chicken nugget, is it a chicken wing or a chicken nugget?
Boneless, like Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yeah, so a Buffalo Wild Wings chicken wing with no bone.
Say like a chicken nugget, like a grilled flavored chicken nugget.
This is why she's the champion, y'all. This is why she is the champion. Answers like that is why she's the champion. Okay. If there was a movie made about you, what would it be called?
The Adventures of Kassie.
That sounds like a television series.
Honestly, I made like a Snapchat story a while ago and had like my roommates in it because like anything just stupid or silly just happens to me or just inconvenience.
No, I feel that. Like kind of like you walk and then you trip over your own feet kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay, that happened to me today, so I understand the struggle. Last question, even though it just slipped my mind, we're going to power through it. What is the dream for you when it comes to running? Post-collegiate, if it's into that.
Well, I'd really like to go somewhere warm to run and work part-time, at a pharmacy or something. I think it'd be really cool to either go to Colorado, Arizona, or North Carolina. I think that'd be pretty cool. So,
bonus question: if there was a song that described your life, what would it be?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I like all genres.
So you want to pick? Would it be easier to pick a genre?
Yeah, I'll do country.
I was gonna say country. So what would be the country music song?
Well, I really like Morgan Wallen. Or there's a new song that I've been listening to. It's called AA.
Okay.
It's not for All American, but for Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh,
But it's
so
really good. Like,
I haven't heard it. Okay,
you
I'll listen to it.
can't really tell like that's what it's about, but it's good.
Well, listen, any song that has a nice storytelling element is all good with me. Kassie, you have survived and you have passed and aced down the home stretch. You killed it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to come on the show. Where can the good people of this podcast support you and find you to keep up with your results?
Oh.
not
I guess
not
I
in
should
that.
maybe I
Go
should
ahead.
start posting them more. I would probably say just the Loras College athletic page,
Okay. And
honestly.
so nobody is coming after me. I was talking about her her track and field results and stuff like that. Okay. So again, that makes the 27th L we've caught on the show. And with that, it is time to call it a day. You know where you can find us. Go on the Lactic Acid Podcast page on Instagram, Lactic Acid Podcast, Twitter, Lactic Acid _pod. I do have TikTok. Don't know how to use it. Can't promise you that I will, but I would like for you to follow me at Lactic Acid Podcast. And then the website has everything you need, including the YouTube link, lacticacidpodcast.org. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, shoot me an email at lacticacidpodcast@gmail.com. Would love to talk with you. Would love to bring your brand into our little Lactic Acid family. Until next time, peace.